Hi friends, today we are going to look at marketing, which is you need to know from various industry perspectives. In order to know that, first you should know what is marketing. Marketing is a process of exchanges, basically to satisfy needs and wants, to generate customer satisfaction, and also at the same time fulfilling what the organizational perspectives are and the objectives are. There are several things you need to know about marketing. First of all, one should understand, in order to market a product, one should understand what is the need for the product. Is there a need for the product? There must be a lot of needs. What are the needs? A need means, basically when you talk about food, clothing, shelter, this becomes a need. At the same time, it differs with respect to places, it differs with respect to locations, it differs with respect to culture, it differs with respect to society. So, here the need changes to wants, and in this particular want, for example, a person who wants food might have, say for example, South Indian food in South Indian market. In the North Indian they have probably, if you look at a place like Rajasthan, they like to have sweets. Whereas, if you go to some other markets in Uttar Pradesh, the people would like to have chapatis in the morning itself. That difference is always there. So, whenever you are trying to plan marketing as such, that requires to look at what you are, at what location you are, and what is the basic need and want of the people. And in turn, this actually creates what is called a demand. And that demand is something on which people are able to clearly identify whether there is a specific need which is available in that particular market or not. But remember one thing, there are a lot of challenges which are there in the economy. What challenges? For example, gone are the days, I am talking about 1990s, prior to 1990s, there were a lot of difficulties of people in terms of purchase propositions. Afterwards, suddenly there was a boom in the middle class, and that middle class actually started buying more. There was a situation earlier that people are only buying products by paying cash, but then the whole thing changed, wherein you can now buy and you pay later. And that is what we came across, what is called a change in the increase of people buying products. And then what was available earlier and what is now available, just have a look at the number of luxury cars available in India. That has increased tremendously. Earlier there was only Maruti car, and you had Ambassador, then you had a Fiat, and then you had a Maruti car. But now you have so much brands which are there in the market, including MG Hector coming in the market, and also Great Wall Motors from China have also come in the market. So much of goods and varieties of services available. For example, you go to buy a soap. Earlier, a person was buying only a Lux or a Liril or for example, the Lifebuoy. But then, what has happened over a period of time? You now do not know what brand you are actually buying from the market. And similarly, what has happened is that there are a lot of changes have happened over a period of time with respect to the information flow of people. The information flow, when I say that earlier there was the advent of internet was not there. Because of not availability of internet, what has happened is that what is happening in UK may not be known to people in say Uganda. At the same time, what is happening in Uganda is not known to people in India. But what has happened now, because of the availability of internet and the great accessibility to social media, now you have a great possibility of people knowing if a particular thing happens at a particular time, immediately it gets reflected across the world market. So, the information flow is faster. So, because of information flow, what is happening now? Products which are made available in England are now being sourced and understood by people in India. Now, Alibaba has really created a great market for their products by ensuring that the products are made available worldwide, and that is the difference we are trying to talk about. And what has happened now, because of the availability of companies like Amazon, Flipkart, Snapdeal and others, because of that what has now recently happened is that products, the minute you think about a product, the product can be ordered online and the product can be placed online, and it can be received at your place without any hiccups. And this is what, and I added to that, you have a lot of opportunities for people to actually look at in a sense ordering, and there could be a possibility of receiving the products at your place and also paying cash at that point of time. You can even do pre-order, you can also collect the product at that particular point of time. So, in effect, if you like to look at, the markets have changed. Similarly, the business practices have changed. How do you look at the business practices? For example, earlier everything was focused on what product is available, and from the product we are talking about, now we are talking more from the customer. For example, a customer decides what he wants or what she wants, then the company makes it for that people. Now, for example, you look at the car segment itself, is that now there were earlier, we were talking about petrol, diesel, and over a period of time from petrol we went to diesel, and diesel started coming in the passenger car segment, and suddenly diesel became a craze in the market. But now we are talking about a stage where there is a dearth of such petroleum products in the future. So, what are we now looking at? We are looking at alternative energy sources. What are the alternative energy sources? We are talking about hydrogen fuel, we are talking about electricity as a fuel, and so we are even talking about Japanese companies have come out with what is called water as a fuel. So, are we trying to replace it? So, what is that? A customer now says that I want only an electric vehicle and I do not want any other product, any other fuel vehicle. It becomes easy for the company to decide where you are trying to work on. So, considering that more number of people asking for electric vehicle, the company can actually move on to produce more of electric vehicles. And if you look at basically, if you look at the earlier, it was something like this. You look at only the individual per se, and then you go to the next person, and you are looking at another person. Thereby, there was a discrete level at which people are buying. But what has happened now is that if you are having a person who is actually buying your product, you ensure that the product person continues to be buying your product again and again. For example, if somebody has bought a motorcycle from Hero Group, or I am talking about old times Hero Honda, and over a period of time that person actually moves over, and he is now with Hero, he will continue to change the vehicles with respect to Hero only. And it is the responsibility of the company to see that the customer in his lifetime continues to be with you. That is why we say that of late customer lifetime value has become a paramount important aspect. And earlier companies are fully focused on how do they make profits, and from profits now they have moved to a stage where no, let us try to get more of customers. And if you get customers in the initial stages, probably we may end up having some losses, but then over a period of time definitely this is going to generate more profitability. So, that sort of a orientation is set in the companies. That was not the case earlier, because you are answerable to the board, you are answerable to the general stakeholder shareholders, wherein you will have to actually say that I am making profit. But then now the shareholders are also understanding the fact that even if you are not making profit now, you are eventually you are going to make profits. Similarly, another important thing is that earlier we were only, as I said about shareholders, from shareholders now we have moved to a stage of what is called stakeholders. Means you cannot produce a product without the consent of all the people involved with you, everyone who is involved with you, including people in your vicinity, people who are actually in the society, people who are in the government, people who are in the banking system, people are in the financial system, everybody plays a role. So, you have to take into consideration all the people before you venture into a activity, and also to ensure that you come out with the products which are required for that specific market. And building brands, products, from products we talk about brands, and brand you cannot just by advertisement you can get people come to you. It is not going to happen. Herein you will have to understand the fact that the performance of a brand plays a very important role. For example, if somebody has bought, now I tell you there is a brand which gets advertised frequently called Axe brand, which is into perfume. Now, unless Axe is able to provide the what they intend as a core essence of that product across to the customer, it is not going to work out next time. So, whatever you try to come out of the advertisement, people may not look at it. That issue is always there. And earlier we were talking, if a customer is satisfied, that is more than enough. That is enough for a person to buy the product again. And now it is found that 86% of the people who move from one particular player to another player have expressed satisfaction in the earlier player. Now, what does that signify? Is that you have to be careful. It is not enough if you are satisfying customers, but you will have to ensure that you are retaining the customer. And when you retain the customer, that has to lead to a stage where we are talking more from the customer relationship management. So, customer relationship management has become a major factor as far as many of the service sectors are concerned. Of course, manufacturing has also taken into account, but primarily it is the service sector. And added to that, now there are a lot of e-business activities which have come in, and these e-business activities have spurred the whole market. We are talking about B2B market, B2C market, C2C. We are trying to find out, say, OLX is one platform which says that you sell your product and there will be somebody else who is a customer who is willing to buy your product. So, that is where we talk about C2C, and you can talk about C2B. From a customer, you can sell it to a business. For example, Amazon goes on asking people if you would like to enroll yourself as a business partner with us. So, a customer can enter into a business deal itself. And new format has come in terms of retailing. What is retailing now is mall management. With the mall management, lot of, because there is now opportunity for customers to have a look at what is made available, and then they can choose what they want, and that concept has come. Earlier, just imagine the earlier times when we are talking about mom and pop stores. In mom and pop stores, it is a closed business wherein you walk in and then you ask the people concerned there to actually sell the products to you. You give a list to them and then they sell it to you. But now it has become open, means all these malls have now become open. You can walk in anywhere, you can choose what you want, and it has become more customer centric. And this is where you need to look at certain markets. So, I need to actually, I said in the initial stages when I was talking, let me look at some of the specific industries where people are actually working, and how marketing takes place in these industries. Now, first of the market is detergent market. If you look at detergent market in India, it roughly comes to about 15,000 crores. Of that, if you look at the powder, detergent powder constitutes more than about 67%. And considering this market only, number of players enter the market, starting with Hindustan Unilever, then you have Nirma coming in the market, then Rohit Sarvexant which came in, subsequently number of players. The last of the bet was Procter & Gamble. And if you look at the market, the basic popular brands are the one which more people buy. What are that they buy? They buy what is called Nirma detergent powder. They look at Wheel as a detergent powder. They look at Gadi as a detergent powder. And the rest of the products, if you like to look at brands, they are all a premium in nature. And one company I would like to say how they have done extremely well in terms of marketing is the brand called Gadi. Gadi is a company which is this brand which is manufactured by Rohit Surfactants, and Rohit Surfactants are basically from Kanpur, and this company ventured into the market of Uttar Pradesh initially. And remember one thing, Uttar Pradesh as a single market constitutes nearly 17% of the whole of the Indian market. So, they decided I am going to operate in this market only initially. And suddenly what happened is that over a period of time, I am talking about somewhere between 2017-18 and then to 19, this particular brand started jumping to the market leader in that segment, wherein they had a market share somewhere around 22%. And this 22% propelled them to a company which is now having about 5,800 crore, nearly to 6,000 crore of business. This is something which has shown, and what they did basically, that is what you need to look at. They focused primarily the localized market, they used the vernacular language for promotion, they provided products at a lower, the brands at a lower price, and they offered a better margin to the customer, the dealers, and in turn ensured that they are able to actually come out with a much better opportunity. And this is what makes a brand very specific. And Gadi is a classic example of a company which has been successful in the market. That is the first thing which I said, detergent market. Let us look at toothpaste market. In toothpaste market, I know pretty well that all of you know pretty well that the Colgate has been an undisputed leader. And this particular industry is more than 4,000-year-old industry. Initially, it started as abrasives like green lead, verdigris, fish bones, and various other things people are using. But then, over a period of time, there was something which they brought in called cream dentifrice. This cream dentifrice is the one which actually changed the way people started using, and that is where fluoride toothpaste came in the market. One of the classic example I am trying to say is that if you look at the consumption in grams per year per capita, if you look at, India has the lowest. So, which means there is huge potential for toothpaste market in this particular country. And another thing I tell you is that in internationally developed countries, you will find that people have a possibility wherein they have not only in the morning but also in the night they brush their teeth. But in India, only less than 15% people brush their teeth in the night. So, understanding that, Colgate-Palmolive, Hindustan Lever have come in the market. One thing they came with a new difference is that apart from the toothpaste, they offered what is called the mouthwash as a segment. And so, mouthwash suddenly became a separate segment as it is. And in the whole toothpaste market, if you look at, there are a number of categories in which you can classify them. One is white segment, which constitutes 50% of the market. Then you have the gel segment, wherein Pepsodent, the Close-Up is doing a major as a leader, which constitutes about 25% of the market. Then you have herbal segment, then you have other segments. And the volume has been taken primarily by Colgate-Palmolive. They have been doing extremely well. Their market share is whooping. In fact, they have been consistently trying to have about 50% market share. And there was some time in between when Patanjali Group came in the market, they started doing extremely well in the market. They were able to catch hold of some of the market share, and then quickly Colgate came out with what is called Colgate Herbal market, which they tried to address the Patanjali segment, and they tried to plug the hole there, and they were thereby adding to that. Patanjali was not able to reach the whole market nationwide as what Colgate could do it. This particular thing made Colgate much easier as in terms of their operations. So, if you look at the numbers, it is increasing for Colgate as such. And in the case of gel segment, if you look at the gel segment, primarily it is the Hindustan Unilever with their Close-Up, which is leading with roughly about 46% market share. Colgate also have jumped into the gel segment, but by the time they went into the gel segment, they competing with the HUL, they found over a period of time that this is not going to help them in because their focus is primarily the calcium segment. And then they decided that they come back to calcium segment and focus more onto that. Thereby they had what is called calcium based product called Colgate Shakti, which they entered the market. But one thing I try to say is that there are players who are nowhere connected to toothpaste industry was able to enter the market. Something like Ajanta, something like Amar, all these players came in the market. These companies started operating very seriously in the market, that Colgate had a tough time in the market, because these people are offering the product at much cheaper rate. For example, Ajanta at one time offered a 200-gram pack for 20 rupees. And Procter & Gamble brought with Crest in the market, and they offered this at 25 rupees for 135 gram. Suddenly Colgate understood this is going to be a serious trouble, and Colgate started offering what is called Colgate with Colgate toothbrush, and they started offering combi packs to counter this move. But see, like what is successful in the case of toothpaste, that is not the case with toothbrushes, because toothbrush people do not have any loyalty. In a person who is actually started as a small age, he starts using Colgate toothpaste, will continue to grow and use the Colgate toothpaste. Whereas, when you try to look at toothbrush, he goes on changing, because there are cases where people do not even know the brand name of the toothbrush. I am sure you may not have also realized that. The toothbrush people do not give importance. But still there are toothbrushes available at about 10 rupees, and that goes up to 999 rupees. And if you look at the tooth powders, If you look at the tooth powders market, that is where you will have to be looking at. Here again Colgate is the leader, they have 40% leadership. But instead of HUL actually could not actually enter that market seriously. So, in fact, it was Dabur which is able to do very well. Dabur took a market share of 35% and they were able to do very well. So, tooth powder is still, because we are talking about rural markets, in a rural market a tooth powder sells more than the toothpaste, and it is still hovering around 35% of the market share, 35% total market. And now that takes me to what is called airline industry. Now, what we talked earlier is that whenever an Indian market is shown outside, the Indian market is primarily shown as people thronging the trains. But now, internationally people have started showing that people are thronging the aircrafts. And the growth rate is phenomenal. India has recorded a double-digit growth as compared to many of the international markets. In fact, China is a leader in the market. But then if you look at the total volume of people traveling, if you look at the year 2012-13, we had a total of about population of Bangladesh traveling in India. But by 2022-23, it is expected that India alone, both international and national put together, you will have people traveling, passengers traveling, which will be equivalent to the population of South America. Just imagine the growth, huge potential for the market. Considering that potential, there is a new brand of company which came in the market. It's called Indigo Airlines, and that Indigo Airlines was able to take over the market. Air India was doing well, but with the advent of air taxis and the private airlines, Air India started losing, because Air India has been operating as a full-fledged carrier, but then the other players like Indigo, SpiceJet and others started offering their aircraft as a no-frills airline, wherein you will have to buy everything inside. Even your seat you will have to buy, even your food you will have to buy, only the water will be free. So, what has happened here? Because of that, they are able to go on a very low price for a customer, so that it becomes attractive for the person to actually go for, and they started getting an excellent market share. And the passengers are, I tell you, at one point of time Indigo was carrying nearly 6 million passengers, and we have so much of domestic internal airports which are coming up now. Now, we will be talking about some of the terminal, the military terminals being converted as the passenger possibilities. Why? How Indigo became successful? Indigo became successful primarily because of their excellent marketing strategies of communicating people not only through traditional media, but also through social media. And also they ensured that word of mouth publicity goes across. So, they went about doing what is called on time performance. 99.97% they were on time. They leave before time, they reach before the arrival time, and they had excellent connections. It flies everywhere, so the connectivity is very good and is cheap, and it is fun to fly. They had brought in new aircrafts, and they have kept main important thing is safety as a platform. So, safety was taken to lowest cancellations, and it was considered it's basically a low cost carrier. So, they ensured that things are there, and they also get feedback from customers. Once a person travels and reaches a location, immediately they send in the feedback form which has to be filled up, or they get the feedbacks done in the aircraft itself, wherein you are able to ensure that there is a positive evaluation received from the customers, and they offer reasonable quality. These are something which is very, very important as far as services are concerned, and that actually ensured that new brands of aircraft started coming in, like TrueJet came in, you had Air Pegasus coming in, Air Turbo, Air One, Air Carnival, Success Air and Savier, and many of them are not there. Now, Air Mantra was another one which is operating from Chandigarh. See, in order to be successful, in order to be a leader, you have to understand that you need to use your marketing strategies very, very uniquely, at the same time effectively. Now, that takes me to another industry which is called automobile industry. In the automobile industry, there are multiple segments. You have two-wheelers, you have LCVs, HCVs, so many sectors are there. But if you look at the passenger car sector, then you have 50% of the market is on hatchbacks. Then you have about 26% in the SUV multi-utility vehicles, and then the sedans constitute about 24%. And in the case of two-wheeler, undoubtedly Hero is leader, followed by Honda Motors and by TVS and Bajaj and things like that. And what McKinsey says is that India is expected to emerge as the world's third largest passenger vehicle market by 21-22. Auto industry has already become fourth largest in 2017, and commercial vehicles by 2017 it was the seventh largest manufacturer, and 5 million to produce with a projected annual GDP growth rate going very high. Definitely there is huge opportunities, not only the product which is related to the cars, but in addition to cars there are so many things like the suppliers coming in with raw materials, insurance coming in, manufacturers operating with the various production facilities, financial service providers coming into picture, the government coming into play, the trade teams which are operating, which actually has enhanced the way by which you can actually start operating, which has now provided opportunity post COVID. It has given a lot of opportunity for people, wherein you started having people coming in with newer cars, and the interest for smaller vehicles have become much more important. Now we started having Tata Nano, which is going to come in a new avatar. They have closed it, they are going to come in a new avatar, and similarly Bajaj has introduced a quadricycle called Bajaj Qute. And similarly there are many players, but one thing which is going to change is the electric car market, which is going to change. And people are now understanding that electric cars are going to be the future of the market. People are getting into it. In addition, people are talking about connected car. For example, MG came with a connected car facility, and these connected cars are going to really increase. And what is going to happen, changes in the particular segment, is that one is you have a self-driven private vehicle wherein a person drives on his own. Second is he pulls in people where he drives. Then we are talking about autonomous private vehicle. In the autonomous private vehicle, the machine does the driving, and autonomous shared vehicle. This is going to be the new market which is going to happen as such. Tesla has entered the market. Tesla offers self-driving facility. It will drive on its own. You have to only give the destination, and you have to sit, read your book. That will take care. And one thing which is actually baffling in my case is that it is projected that the Society of Indian Automobile Manufacturers are projected, saying that the vehicle sales are going to increase. One. Second is that by 2050, I am talking about, India is expected to top the world in terms of car volumes. I am really surprised, because already there is a difficulty of parking your vehicle in your urban market, and where are we going to? So what is going to happen? The government is pressed for, the local self-government is, local service government is pressed for, wherein you have to create infrastructure for that, and that is going to be a major area which is going to actually change. So look at from these various markets, and then we are trying to look at a possibility of talking about how this actually goes to the rural market. For example, I will tell you how Mahindra did their marketing. So any product which Mahindra brings in, they set up stalls in villages, and that happens during village hearts are happening, or there are festivals happening, and they promote. In fact, tractors, Mahindra does very well. They do that. In fact, Tata with their Hitachi earth moving equipments which they have come in, they do this particular facility for major players, and they conduct demonstrations, they conduct virtual demos and so many things. Now see, when you look at Hindustan Unilever, they are having 50% of the revenue generated from the rural market. And what is happening now? They started focusing the market primarily using Mission Bushfire. And then Mission Bushfire, they focused more on about 600,000 outlets across the rural market, and they connected it through the general merchandise, the merchants who are there, nearly 16,000 people. And they used the village mandis, seasonal melas to reach that. And so if you look at some of the big players who have made a great inroad into the rural market. It showcases that companies like Maruti Suzuki, Nirma, Bajaj, Pepsi, Nokia, Mahindra, Bata has done extremely well. Amul is a classic example of how to reach the rural markets. Players like Maggi, Philips, they have done extremely well. So in a sense, we try to look at, you need to be unique, you need to be innovative, you need to be ensuring that you are making the product available in the market. So one major thing as far as the companies are concerned while you are reaching the rural markets is that you need to adopt the 4 A's. What are the 4 A's? We try to look at, first is availability of the product, second is affordability, then acceptability, and finally awareness. So if you are able to do that, you can definitely do that. And similarly, why companies are able to reach the customers and ensure that marketing is being remembered by these customers is ensuring that you have customization, you have empathy with the customers, and you have ensuring that the customer remembers your brand. It is there in the evoked set of the customer. So it is recognized by the customer. And also word of mouth is a major phenomena for any product for that matter. People would love understanding their product. Somebody else comes, your friends comes and says that this particular product is good, why don't you buy? That immediately has a great influence. And accessibility, if you are able to create. Definitely that is the way by which you are supposed to look at the market. And I would like to conclude saying that India is the going to be the third largest economy in 2050, and that is behind China and United States of America. But there is huge scope for companies to market their products and reach every person. And I tell you one thing, the future belongs to technology, and the technology is nowadays used through social media. And if companies are able to innovatively utilize the social media techniques and reach customers and ensure that in the minds of the customer, if they are able to understand your brand, you have succeeded. And definitely, as what quote says, that all those people who have won have done uniquely and differently. And I am sure those who are able to do differently, who are able to uniquely, they can come out with something different, they can only succeed in this marketing cutthroat competition. Thank you.